everyone, and welcome to this month's Do You Know show. We have a jam-packed show, so let's get right to it. On this month's Do You Know show, we're going to head over to the Blue Line Club and check out the Curling Bonspiel Tournament. Then we're going to head to the Glacial Ridge Winery and talk to Ron and Kimberly. Ron's going to give us a quick little bottling demonstration, and then Kimberly's going to talk about some of the events that are coming up. Then we're going to head over to the WEAC building and check out the Prairie Winds Band Concert. And then Jamin and friends are going to be at WCI talking a little Family Fun Festival, a great event coming up in our community. Then Latoya had a chance to go to the Hot Creek Animal Shelter, and she's going to show you all the cats and dogs that are available for adoption. And then Jody will be in studio talking a little early childhood initiative. There's a number of events coming up in April. She's going to give you the info on that. And then we're going to take you back on the flashback of Do You Know and show you some highlights that we shot from LifeLink 3. It's a new segment that we're going to show you, kind of showing back some of the events that we shot in past years. And then wrapping up the show, Bev and Susan are going to be talking about roses at Stacy's Nursery on our Master Gardening segment. And it is all right here on this month's Do You Know show. All right, welcome to St. Patrick's Day. It's a beautiful day to be out and about. Today we're back at the Glacial Ridge Winery. There's wine tasting going on today to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. But today what we're going to do is we're going to talk with Ron, as we always do. He's going to tell us a little bit about bottling. So Ron, tell us about what we're going to do up at the pavilion.
Okay, today I'm going to take you up to the pavilion, and that is too where we do that's our productions area. We have a spot that's heated all year up there. It is also our place where we do our wedding receptions. But today we're going to go up, and I have some rhubarb that's going to be ready to be bottled here in a day or two, and we're going to show you how it's pre-labeled and how some of the equipment works. And so it should be kind of fun. And like I said, we are doing tastings today. We're here on St. Patty's Day on a Saturday afternoon, a gorgeous day. It's been actually quite busy already today. We invite you up. And never did a bottling segment before, so it should be a lot of fun. I think it'd be real interesting for you guys.
Okay, so we're going to do it. We're heading up to the pavilion, and Ron's going to tell us everything we need to know about bottling.
Okay, now we're in the pavilion, and this is the tank that we're going to bottle possibly tomorrow, and it is rhubarb. And it did take me 2-3 days in order to process that, get it ready to go. It's actually been fermented for it's about a year old now, but we're re-energizing it. Actually, I give it a little color, so I had to work it a little bit. So I decided to let it rest for 3 days, and I'm going to explain to you what happens when we bottle. And I do pre-label my bottles, so you can see that these bottles here are already pre-labeled. And then what I do is I move them onto the table here, and I do actually put in a shot of nitrogen in each bottle, which nitrogen is heavier than air, and it will actually then, after the cork enters, the air spot between the cork and the wine is actually nitrogen, so that it will not discolor or cause oxidation to the wine. So anyway, what happens is, so I already have nitrogen in, and this is a filler, and it'll fill 6 at a time. So the pump below fills up the reservoir, and then the gravity fills into the bottle. Then when these 6 are full, I set them over here, and then this is the corker. And you put a cork inside, and shut the door, hit the button, and it corks it. Then from there, it gets set there, and this hair dryer type piece here, actually we drop the seal on, and this runs hot. We drop the sealer over the bottle, and it seals that seal tight. Then possibly the empty box would be set in here, fill up the box, and then it gets set to another pallet. So that's bottling here at Glacier Ridge Winery. It's all by hand. We can bottle, say, 250 gallons, 2 of us. It'd be about 1,350 bottles in about 4 hours. With the labels being pre-labeled and everything else ready to go. So when we do drop the wine back into the box, it is labeled, corked, sealed, and ready to sell. So thank you for listening to me today, and that's what happens at the bottling.
All right, welcome back to the wine tasting room. We're joined by Ron's better half, Kimberly. And Kimberly, a lot of things are going to be going on now through the summer here at the winery. I want you to give us a little insight and what's going on.
Yeah, we do have a very full calendar. We have, starting in May, we have the United Way event, which is May 12th, and it's a fundraiser. They're doing a purse day. We have the Women Who Drink play. It's a comedy play. We had it last year, and it was hilarious. So it's a really fun day to come out. May 19th. National Wine Day is May 25th. And then we start our outdoor summer concert series every Thursday, starting May 31st, outdoors, and if it's raining, we have it in the pavilion. So rain or shine, it's a fun night. It's free. We hope you'll come out and enjoy some great music, have a glass of wine or a bottle. And Green Mill comes out, and they have food, so you can come out hungry too. Then we have the Beatles Tribute Band on June 23rd, which should be really fun. It's something new that we haven't done before, so we're really excited to do that. We have weddings, we have receptions, grooms' dinners throughout the summer, and the Guitar Challenge auction is August 31st, along with the New London events. And then the Great Grape Stomp is September 8th. That's kind of like the final great event that we have for the end of the season. So on that day, get your stomp on.
All right, and we're going to come out for that event. Last year we had a conflict, so we didn't make it out. So we will be here to show that, because it kind of reminds you of the Lucille Ball when they were. Everybody remembers the stomping in the grapes. So one thing I saw on the website, just wanted to comment about, is that if you are a artist, you're having a Stingers little promo going on to create a label, correct?
Right. We're trying to get a new label for our wines, so that's the wine that we're going to bring out to the Stingers games, because we're going to be a part of the Stingers baseball games this year.
And it's going to be great, because I know I've worked with the Stingers for a couple of years now, and it's always a great event. Great way to get your name out there, and a great way to get people to recognize the winery. I think, some people kind of forget about certain things in the community, like the Historical Society and Sibley and Prairie Woods and the winery too. And you really got to get a chance. When you get a chance, you really got to come out, because it's such a great place. You have Ron and Kimberly here, who are just great hosts, and it's always fun to be out here. Again, just let everybody know when you have your wine tasting going on now, so if they want to come out, they can say hi and taste some wine.
Yeah, every day that we're open, we're starting in May, we're going to be open Thursday through Sunday from noon until 6. So come out and taste wine with us, or bring your party and have fun. And if you need to have a special event, we'll open on our off times too.
All right, it's all right here at the Glacial Ridge Winery. You are watching. That is so hard to say, and I haven't even been drinking wine yet. It's the Glacial Ridge Winery. You're watching. Oh yeah. I'm just going to say it's the Glacial Ridge Winery, and you're watching Do You Know?
West Central Industries, and I'm here with my friend Val Honebrink, who's going to tell us all about an event that's coming up that you can be a part of. West Central Industries is located over by the Recycling Center at the Stingers Ballpark Stadium, and they put on the most fun family festival. And in fact, it's called the Family Fun Festival, and it's going to happen real soon. My understanding, Val, is that your event is going to happen on May 5th from 8 in the morning until noon. Tell us a little bit about your event.
Well, there's going to be lots of fun things to do. There'll be some pancake feeds, there'll be some book sales, and something fun for the entire family. So you should go ahead and find all your friends and people in the community and come on over and bring Grandma and be here from 8 to noon, and we'll have a great time.
Well, people are always looking for something to do. You said there's going to be a pancake feed. Behind me, I see some beautiful quilts. I understand you guys are going to have a quilt raffle. Everybody's looking for a few extra dollars in their pocket, so I understand you guys are going to have a cash raffle. Is that right?
Yes, we are going to have a cash raffle, so you can win some great, fabulous prizes.
Is it prizes or cash?
It's actually, well, cash.
Okay, so cash is good.
Yes,
put it in the
prizes.
pocket.
Yes.
Okay, so if people want to come, how do they find out more about it?
Well, they can call at WCI and find out, or they can find various community members that'll have information.
Fantastic. Well, what does all the money that's raised from these beautiful quilts being silent auctioned off, and some of these things being silent auctioned off, and then the cash raffle and the pancake feed, and we're going to hear more about some other things that are going to happen on that day. Where does all the money that's raised for this go?
It's going to go for our clients so we can support the work programs that they do in the community.
And who are your clients?
I don't know, what do you mean by who's my clients?
No, I mean, like, who does West Central Industries serve?
Oh, clients of mental health clients, developmentally disabled clients, autistic, all kinds of, any kind of pretty much disability.
Okay, so people who have disabilities come to West Central Industries, they get some work skills, and they get some job task experience, and then they go out and they work, and they make taxpayer money, and they go out and spend it in our community. So you guys are doing great work to get people ready to work and then working, right?
That's correct, and we have various people on crews in the community at different, you may see them at Walmart, so they're all over and some work here.
Awesome. Okay, so you're learning a little bit about the Family Fun Festival, the FFF, the Family Fun Festival that's going to take place at West Central Industries on May 5th from 8 in the morning until noon, and we're going to be talking to a few more people. Thanks, Val.
No problem.
We're over at West Central Industries talking to some of their staff about their upcoming Family Fun Festival, and this is Ruth and this is Tyler, and my understanding is that you guys are on the planning committee to put on the Family Fun Festival. I understand that from Val that there's a pancake feed and a cash raffle and a quilt raffle and a silent auction with all kinds of really cool things, including this table and baskets and stuff. I understand that you're a part of something that people may not be aware of, but people who love to read might be wanting to know more about. So tell our viewers what you're up to, Ruth.
I'm going to be working with the book sale. We have gently used books that have been donated to WCI. We have thousands of books. There are hardcover, softcover, and lots of children's books.
And they're pretty affordable, aren't they?
Absolutely. Nothing is more than $1.
Wow. So hardcover books for under $1.
Correct.
And I heard that you get a lot of romance novels.
Yes, we have we have hundreds and hundreds of romance novels, but we also have all sorts of other fiction novels. We have just all sorts of books, things that would be nonfiction, historical books. We have books about local geography.
All kinds of things. Okay, so we've got pancakes to eat, silent auction stuff to bid on, cash raffle to win dollars and cents that we can then turn around and we can buy books with.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And Tyler, I understand that there's something for everyone. So I understand that you've been roped into doing children's games and other fun stuff.
I have been. There's plenty of activities going on at West Central Industries that day. We have plenty of games for children. We have a beanbag toss going on, face painting going on, pie in the face, which I might actually catch a few of those. So there's plenty of things going on. It's going to be a really fun day out there.
All right, so we're out at West Central Industries. If you haven't caught it yet, it's Fever for the Family Fun Festival. Family Fun Festival is scheduled at West Central Industries on May 5th from 8 o'clock until noon. As you can see, there's all kinds of really cool silent auction things. There's books, there's going to be pancakes, and pie in the face for Tyler. So we want to encourage you to grab your family and come on over to WCI. You're watching the Do You Know Show, and we hope you'll move on with us to the next segment.
Hi, welcome to the Hawk Creek Animal Shelter. We're also known as the Humane Society of Candy, Ojai, and Meeker County. My name is Bobby Bauman. I'm Director of Operations, and I just want to thank everybody in the community that helps us out. And I just want to let you know, one thing to do is to get ID tags on your pets or even microchip. We can microchip down here at the shelter, and let's get your pet home a little bit quicker if it takes off. I want to tell you about our pet vaccination clinics. We'll be having those the first week in May. So give us a call at the shelter to find out the exact dates and times. This is for income qualified families where we will vaccinate your pets for distemper or rabies. And it's a mere $20. And we'd love to see you come to those events. We also want to tell you about our mobile spay neuter unit that comes out from the cities. They'll be out again May 31st. Go online to minsnap.org or Minnesota Spay Neuter Assistance Program.org, and let's get your pet spayed or neutered. I'd like to tell you about our volunteer program. We always need volunteers to come down and walk the dogs, play with the cats, help with paperwork or fundraising events. So don't be afraid. Just come on down and take a look at what there is to do down here, and we would love to show you around.
Hi, I'm Jody Wambeck with the Willmar Early Childhood Family Programs and Willmar Early Childhood Initiative, here today to talk to you about some great events coming up for families with young children in the month of April. First, we have our monthly WOW event, which will be focusing on math. This is going to be a great night to do some counting, some patterning, some geometry, and all sorts of great things. And that is going to be held at Jefferson Learning Center. For more information on that, please call Community Ed and Rec or check out www.candykidsready.com. The other great event coming up for families with children ages 2 to 5 is our Once Upon a series, which is going to focus on a fabulous book, and it'll be a follow-up with some of our math activities from the WOW event as well. And then something else that I want to talk to you about, if you have kindergarten age children or children that will be attending kindergarten in the fall, if you have not received information from Willmar Public Schools about kindergarten registration, please call the district office right away, because registration is happening in April and we need to make sure that we get you registered. And along with that, if your child has not gone through early childhood screening, please go ahead and make an appointment for that as well, because we want to make sure your child has gone through the screening before they enter kindergarten this fall. You are watching Do You Know?
Okay, we're in Lifelink 3. Engines are firing up. We're glad that we're actually safe and okay and not being transported. We're getting ready to go. I can see the rotors rotating, or whatever it's called.
Left base, 10.
Good left.
And Willmar traffic, understand that. Left base for 10. Affirmative, 1 Charlie, go. Roger, 224 Lima Lima's off the hospital. I'll fly right traffic around the hospital to the east. Okay, coming up.
Very good.
Willmar traffic, pipeline patrol. A mile to the south of the Willmar Airport, now heading to the west. Cardinal 2204 Yankee.
Okay, coming up.
Very good.
And Cardinal Aircraft, this is helicopter 224 Lima Lima. I'm off the helipad at the center of town to the north.
Okay, looking for traffic, 0 Frankie. Have you in sight, 0 Frankie. Now I'm heading to the left.
Roger. I'm going to be making a right turn and flying a circuit over there, over the hospital. Okay guys, we can talk now. I'm going to fly here to the right, and I'm going to fly a couple circuits around the hospital for you. Excellent, appreciate it.
One of our consortium members is the St. Paul and Minneapolis Children's, and I'm going to put in just an unabashed plug for one of our organizations. We give teddy bears to everybody.
Yeah, Willmar traffic, 91
From a BATE, it's a motorcycle organization, American Bikers for Awareness, Training, and Education, and each kid that we transport gets a teddy bear. Those are donated to us. And they're very, very cool bears, and it's a great thing that we do with our children's and the BATE to work with.
That's very nice. That's excellent. You're going to see the pad coming up here on the right side of the aircraft. How does the landing pad in Willmar here at Rice compare to other landing pads around the area that you guys work with? It's a real nice pad to land on. It's real big. Top of the hospital is nice and flat, so there's no reflection of your rotor downwash. Aircraft vicinity of Willmar, this is 224 Lima Lima. Operating just half mile off the southern pad. Doing traffic at 5 uniform.
Birds, 12 o'clock high.
To the west, transition to the east, approximately 5 miles north of the field at 3,500 feet. Traffic leaves at 5 north.
Yeah, traffic at Willmar helicopter, no factor. I'll be heading to the west. 5 look at.
5 to the south, landing 31 Lopo. 4 Lima Lima's helicopter circling the hospital at this time.
302 is 99. 224 Lima dispatch.
Would you guys like one more trip around? That'd be great. One more and we'll call her a show. Okay, I'll keep it in closer.
We're circling in the area of Willmar, Rice Hospital, doing a PR flight.
All I copy is circling area of Rice Hospital. ML 1033.
10-4, good copy, good copy.
I turned them down because I had some other air traffic control. What did they have to say?
They just acknowledge.
Okay. Looks like pretty classy stuff.
Yeah, it's busy out here today.
Somebody else, that would be better. I'm already warmed up, Bruce. I'm going to India. Yes, you go, Frank. All right. We're going to come in for a landing now. Jerry, we have somebody helping us today? Yeah, I'm just bringing in for Daniel. All right. Is he right back home, or what has he got? I've got a good friend. Right, going to have the sky off setting over here. All right, that's great. All right, coming back. Over traffic 224 Lima. Lima is turning final for the hospital. Approaching from the north to the south. Alright, now as we're approaching, we're going to approach into the wind here. That way it'll give the aircraft to require less power for a landing. And then when we get down, we'll turn the tail around for safety so the tail isn't near the walkway where we approach and depart the helicopter. EMS 2, Lifelink 3, we copied your traffic. It's cleared for you.
224 Lima, Lifelink 3. Got it, thank you.
Hutchinson, traffic, King Air's left base for 15, full stop, Hutchinson. We're going to come down, do the hover thing again, turn the tail my way.
Very good. I'll check the ramp here for you.
Hi, this is Bev Davis and Susan Matson and the Do You Know Show, and we're here at Stacy's. We've been here before, but this time we get to ask the expert, so to speak. And Angela is here with us, and we're going to talk about bare root plants. It's something we haven't really spent much time on before. And whether you get a bare root plant or you're just kind of fascinated by the proper care and procedure of taking care of them, Angela is going to tell us about them. So where do we start?
Well, most of the shrub roses or shrubs in general, when a garden center gets them in, they come in bare root. And most customers don't buy them that way, but you can. A lot of customers order bare root shrubs or roses, as we're going to show you today, in catalogs, or you can order them at a garden center as well. So what I'm going to show you is just how we as the garden center handle the rose. We get it in bare root, and we just kind of go through a process of taking care of it to get it ready for you to purchase.
So you've got them sitting here in a bucket of water, first of all, Angela. Do you do that with all of them when you get them in, just to give them a little drink before you work on them?
Yes, definitely. Bare root means, a lot of people don't know, bare root means there is no pot, there's no soil, it's bare roots. As you can see, all the roots are hanging out here. And the quickest way a plant can die is to be dry. So with a bare root stock, you have to keep it wet all the time. So we either keep them in buckets of water, or we lay them here in the greenhouse and we put shade cloth over them and drench them in puddles of water. Now you have to keep them wet at all times. If they sit out for even 3 or 4 hours dry, they can die. One of the main things with the roses we like to do is we need to prune the top of the canopy of the rose. Now you can do this in your garden if the roses are out right now, or in the fall, or bare root. And as you can see, well, we probably can't see, but the buds on the rose, I don't know if you can zoom in and see these, but there are some buds on the rose here, and we like to prune at an angle just right above the bud of the rose. Now I like to take the long or the thicker canes down further, because there's a lot of loss of energy in those canes, and I like to keep the thinner, the new canes up a little higher. So these I'll just barely tip off, as you can see, right above a bud. And that just promotes more growth right above the bud. Now you can see, like on some of these, the buds are dead, so you want to go down a little further. Now the thick canes, I would go down, a little further than the thinner canes. To a healthy bud. To a healthy bud, yeah, yes, correct. You also want to look at your crotching of the branches. Sometimes there'll be dead canes down here. Like for instance, this one is brown and dead. So you just want to get rid of that, because all it's doing is wasting energy, on the actual plant for growing. So that is about all the further we would actually prune this particular plant. And then we also like to give some of the roots a cut. People get scared like they can't cut roots. You can cut roots. A lot of times you want to take these big thick roots and give them a good haircut, just to kind of stimulate some of the growth as well.
And show the tool that you're using too.
We're actually using, it's called a Willmar clipper. We prefer this tool because it lasts for a long time, and it's a nice handheld clipper that fits most women's hands, which is kind of nice, because it's hard to get a clipper that fits women's hands, and I know there's a lot of men gardeners as well, but we like to get a small clipper.
One question I have for you on that. Now, how often would you sharpen something like that? And obviously you might be using it, more often than the regular homeowner, but
to be honest, these are so cost effective that most people toss them when they're done using them, but you could sharpen it at the end of the growing season and then make sure to wash it, when you're done pruning any kind of plant. But we kind of toss them when we're done, as bad as that sounds. So this is kind of what the rose looks like now. And then what we do, now if you were to do it at home, you can plant it the exact same way as I'm going to plant it in the pot. But I'm going to show you how we plant it in the pot for the customer to purchase, and just kind of pretend it's the ground at home if you were to do it at home.
Okay, so let's skip on over to what you're using for material over here too, Angela. What's the best thing for, is your potting soil going to be any different than what they would want to use in their rose bed?
Possibly. Your soil at home is just a mixture of whatever you have at the time. What we like to use, and what you can purchase and then mix into the potting hole at home or your container, we use a highly composted blend. We carry it here at the garden center. It's called Mississippi Top Potting Soil. It has chicken compost in it, which is really high in nutrients, especially for roses. They like heavy compost, heavy manure. Roses need a lot of nutrients to grow. So this is a really good blend. It doesn't have a lot of soil in it. If you girls notice it, it has a lot of peat. It has a lot of pine bark, which is the thicker pieces, and it has a lot of compost. It has like 10% actual soil. So it's more compost materials that we've blended together ourselves, and then we do sell in bags that the customer can purchase. The nice thing about it is it decomposes really easily, so the plants can breathe really well. A lot of times if you get heavy dirt, the plant itself can't breathe. So you need a really good nutritious dirt that has a lot of, very thin and airy. As you can feel, it's really airy. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. Do you need to add any other plant food to that? That's always a question people ask us is, do I need to put in a fertilizer or plant food when
Yes. And now when you buy proper soil like this, when you have a lot of compost, composted material in it, you don't need a large amount of food. But what I always recommend is Osmocote. It's a slow release fertilizer, and all you have to do is a tablespoon around a plant this size in your garden. Now that you can do once a month, or you can do it once a year. It's a slow release fertilizer, which means it will fertilize all season long. And that's what we use a lot. The other nice thing, Miracle Grow, I know people sometimes are like, well, what's the point? The nice thing about Miracle Grow is you can do it every 2 weeks. It helps stimulate the roots. It helps the plant to bloom more often. And it's kind of a no-brainer. You can't screw it up. You can't over Miracle Grow. You can't ever kill a plant by Miracle Growing too much. So I always recommend that as well.
And then you have some really unique garden gloves. Maybe you could show those too. Because there's a whole bunch of new garden gloves that are out right now. All kinds of, and this looks like it's a fabric and a rubber or fabric.
Yes.
And
The nice thing about these particular garden gloves, now I've tried 100 different kinds over my life of being here, and I grew up here, so I've tried a lot of them. My biggest problem is you can't breathe. Your hands can never breathe, and your hands get hot and sticky, and then it's just no fun, so then you end up not wearing them. Well, this particular is a nylon material. So they breathe really, really well, and they can get wet, and you can wash them in the washing machine. And I use them, they don't even feel like I have a glove on. So I can be potting out here, I can run in and answer the phone, I can be on the till, and I never have to take them off because they fit so nice. A lot of people make a mistake of buying their gloves too big. You want them tight. You want your glove tight. So even these are a little big for me because we just grabbed whatever one was laying here at the time. But most women need to wear a small. They think, well, I have big hands. No, you need to put a small glove on. It needs to be tight. That way it works a lot better. So here's our, pretend this is our potting hole or our pot. Now, any shovel will work. You don't need a particular shovel, but I'm going to use this one because it's lighter. And with roses, I want to just show you, with roses in winter kill, you have to make sure to buy hardy roses. Number one, do not buy, a lot of the roses out there are not hardy for our zone, and then it's just frustrating because you do all this work and they don't grow. But you have to, when planting any rose, you really have to cover a lot of this up. The root system needs a lot of protection. So most people would think to plant right here. On a rose, you want to go up quite high. You want the whole crotch, the first crotch of the rose, to be covered under the soil because that just gives all that a lot more protection for the winter. So,
what kind of rose is that, Angela?
This is called a Morton Centennial, which oddly enough happens to be my favorite shrub rose. This is a Minnesota grown shrub rose. It is hybrid with a rose out of Canada, so it's extremely hardy. It's a recurrent bloomer, which means it will bloom all season long. So if you with shrub roses, you also need to keep in mind, you're going to get this beautiful bloom, let's say around middle of June. You need to go in and deadhead, get all those old blooms off, and then it will bloom again about mid-July. So you'll continuously having blooms if you continue to take care of it by pruning the old blooms off and then giving it that food as well. So you want to, make sure, as you can see, I'm going to try to cover all the way up to here with the soil.
Well, this is a question that people might look toward the future for. But what do you do in the fall with the rose that has grown all summer is probably kind of leggy because the branches are expanding and you've got some blooms on there by the fall. Do you actually cover the whole rose bush in the fall?
Well, here's my biggest thing. If you have to cover it in Minnesota, do not plant it because there is no point in covering things because we don't know when winter is going to come. And we don't know when winter is going to end. What is it today, the 20th, and it's 80 degrees today of March, which is abnormal. So we really recommend carrying those hardy shrub roses that you do not have to cover. Now, this particular rose, what you would do in the fall is you would cut it all the way down from 6 inches from the ground. So if your rose is up 4 feet, go all the way down to 6 inches from the ground. That's going to give you the most coverage in the winter, and then all you have to do is get 6 inches of snow, which most winters we do. I don't know if we got it this winter, but you get a little bit of snow coverage to cover those roots, and you should have no problem with your shrub coming into the winter. Now, a lot of people go, really, my plant is 4 feet high and you want me to cut it all the way down? My philosophy is if you're mad at yourself when you got done pruning, you did a good job. Because you really do need to prune your shrubs. I mean, it's like us getting haircuts. You really need to get that old, especially those old big thick canes, you need to cut those down and really start with a fresh plant in the spring. And then you're just stimulating all kinds of new growth. So pruning is kind of an essential, especially with the roses. And keeping that in mind all summer too, that deadheading and pruning really helps stimulate new growth.
I have one question for you too, Angela, about pest control, sawflies, things like that. They can take the foliage down pretty quickly. What do you recommend?
We have 2 different chemicals that I like to use. One is a granular chemical, and it takes care of insect control and feeds at the same time. So that's kind of nice. And you just sprinkle it around the rows. I do that every 2 weeks. The other one that I use is a spray. It's an ortho product as well, and it's in a aerosol can. And I just say, once you see an insect on your plant and once you see all those bites, you can't control it. So you have to start early in the season. I always say May 1st, go out and spray your roses down, put the granular around the base, and if you do it every 2 weeks, you'll never have a problem. And it really doesn't take a lot of time. You know, it sounds like maintenance, but it really is quite easy to do. If the bugs come and they eat your leaves, it's not going to affect the blooming. So even though you might have the shrub with no leaves on it, you're still going to get all the blooms. So you'll still have a really pretty plant. You just won't have a full plant. But if you do that insect control every couple of weeks, you won't have any problems with insects.
So really with a lot of gardening, it's preventive, which is, you know, some new gardeners may think, oh, there's a problem, I better do something now. And by then, sometimes it's kind of late. And if you're going to make that investment in something this nice, you definitely want to do some preventive measures.
Right, correct. And the preventive measures aren't that hard. I mean, really, every 2 weeks, if you're just out putzing around in the lawn, it takes 3 seconds to throw that granular around the rows and give it a good spray of the insect control. And they'll last forever. What you'll notice is if you live in the area, these roses are planted all over Willmar. And we'll always have people come in, like McDonald's parking lot. Go through McDonald's. That's called the Hope for Humanity rose. It's a beautiful red. It blooms all summer long, and people go, well, if they can do it, I can do it. You know, a lot of commercial buildings don't have the time to go out and take care of it. And the hospital has Morton Centennials, which we planted probably 8 years ago, and they bloom all summer long. Beautiful blooms. A couple of the other places, ACMC has them. It's really nice when people can come in and say, I want what's at that place because it's done so well. And that's what these roses have done. They're just a wonderful, wonderful rose for our area.
So is the Morton Centennial, is it just one color then? Is it just the red?
Yep, the Morton Centennial is a pink. It's a double pink rose. The Hope for Humanity, which is my second favorite, that is a red. The other one that I really like is called Winnipeg Parks. That is like a mauve-y pink. It's a beautiful rose. It almost looks like the color of wine, and it's gorgeous, and that will bloom all summer as well. And then there's a lot of other ones. I think we carry 23 roses total that we will recommend for our area to grow.
Yeah, I just had a question about, some people like to plant these on a fence or against a wall. Is that necessary?
Not necessarily with this particular one, but we do have 3 varieties that are called climbing shrub roses. Or they're actually, most of them are your old-fashioned roses that just get quite large, and they've trained it now to climb. So there's a couple that do really well with that. There's a red and a pink that I would recommend for our area. One called Henry Kelsey, which is the red, and it does beautiful. And then the pink one is called William Baffin. And that one people see at Peterson Funeral Homes on their back fence there. It grows, and she puts Epsom salt around the base, which promotes the blooms, and theirs bloom all summer long. So they do really, really well. Now with those, to keep in mind, the pruning isn't as severe. You don't want to take them down quite as far in the spring or the fall because you want that height. So you want to go in and just take those really thick old canes, you know, down. But the newer ones, you really want to leave up. You just want to tip those. You don't want to do a heavy pruning on those.
So for this particular one, the Centennial, what's the optimal height on this, Angela?
This one gets about 3 to 4 feet high, and you're going to get about a 3 to 4 foot spread. And that's about your ideal shape. You know, if you want really tall roses, that's when you get the legginess and the falling over, and the blooms get so heavy they pull the branch down. That 3 to 4 height rose really does best in our area, I feel.
Any other thoughts on roses or their care or planting that you could add?
You know, one of the things I'd like to add is that people are scared of roses, and don't be scared of roses. You don't have to tip them, you don't have to bury them, you don't have to cover them, all those old things that we all think you have to do, you don't have to do. There is so many roses now that they have hybrid to be hardy for our area. And every time we do a landscape design, and I have roses on every single design, because they bloom all summer long if you take care of them. And people will go, oh, I don't want a rose, there's so much work. They are not. They are so easy. They're maintenance free. You know, if you do that simple insecticide, and if you don't do it, the plant's not going to die. It's just going to thrive better if you do. They're so easy to take care of. I just really encourage people to try them. So easy a guy can do it. So easy a man can do it, yes. I agree.
All right, well, Angela, thank you so much. It's been great to be at Stacy's. I hope you let us come back and play with the plants in the dirt again.
Yes, more than welcome. Anytime, anytime.
And Susan and I, of course, will be back next month on the Do You Know Show. You can always call the Extension office if you'd like to talk to a Master Gardener at 231-7890. And, of course, you can look on the website for the University of Minnesota, which is extension.umn.edu, and make sure you catch the Master Gardener Show on the radio on KWLM on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. This is Bev and Susan on Do You Know?
All right, that wraps it up for this month's Do You Know show. Thanks so much for tuning in today. We do appreciate it. Next month, more of the same. We're going to head out and about in the community and find out what's going on. Until next month, we'll see you around town.